Hello, everyone. This is Diane Zimmerman, the powerful biz woman, and thank you for tuning in to the ultimate business conversation with myself, the powerful biz woman, and my co-host, co-founder, Alina Lopez Thomas, grown woman. And today we have Leroy Allen on, and he's that will be speaking at our event on June the 25th and June the 26th. And the wonderful thing about UBC 2021 is that we will be doing it live and virtually. So if you don't feel like coming out, if you're scared, nervous, you can sign up virtually, or you can sign up to come live. So I'm going to let Alina take over and interview Mr. Leroy Allen and let him introduce himself, and we're ready to go. So let's get this cracking.
Well, all right. So this is Alina Lopez. I'm talking in third party, aren't I? Let me not do that. Okay, my name is Alina Lopez Thomas. I will say that, as Danya mentioned, I am the co-founder of the Ultimate Biz Conference. I am going to get a little bit more pep in my step, Leroy, but you know what? I just walked through the door, literally.
Okay.
So my hair is busted. My language is twisted. And really, right now, I'd like to sit in front of my TV.
I understand.
That's just the truth. That's the absolute truth. But we're going to make the best. We are going to make the best out of this next 30 minutes and have a good conversation about who you are, what you are, and what you're bringing to the table at the Ultimate Biz Conference. So if you can do that, just the first thing is what I normally like to do is to give the person the opportunity to just tell a little bit about the business that they're in. And then we'll go a little bit further to how that is going to blend into the Ultimate Biz. So if you can do that, just tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay. Well, to start, I want to thank you and Danya for the invitation. That's the first thing. The second thing is you all are doing a great work with what it is that you all are doing for this year's conference, and it's very exciting to be a part of it. So I want to get that out of the way first, if I can.
Thank you.
I am the president. I am the president and CEO of the Life Enhancement Consulting Group.
Oh.
Prior to that, I spent 11 years as a financial advisor. Somewhere in the process of from 2012 to 2013, I began to feel this pull that I wanted to do more teaching and consulting. And there came the birthing of the Life Enhancement Consulting Group. And within the Life Enhancement Consulting Group, we provide leadership assessment tools to small, medium, and large companies. So what that means is we go into, small, medium, and large companies, and we assess the leadership profile of those who want to move from a management level position to a leadership level position, and from a leadership level position to a stakeholder level position is what we do. So we have been in practice with this now for close to 14 years. We have been in practice. In that same year, we birthed an accredited online school, online and offline, called the Life Enhancement Coaching Institute. And there, what we have there within is 5 different courses, and one of them being an accredited certified life coach course. So we have these 2 pillars going on, and one of the things that we give strong attention to is we give strong attention to what we call vision. And as you know, vision is an image of a common attraction, is what a vision is. It's an image of a common attraction. And so what we hope to bring to this year's conference, we hope to bring, one, the definition of entrepreneurship, which in our mind, the definition of entrepreneurship is the representation of an opportunity, and the best opportunity is availability. All right. The second definition that we like to cling to within the Life Enhancement Consulting Group is the very fact that entrepreneurship is an intellectual sport. It's an intellectual sport. For so long, it's been said to be an entrepreneur, you have to have you have to have the right mindset. I consider that to be, with my experience, a recognizable truth, but it's not a sustainable truth. Because it's going to take more to reap the reward and benefit of entrepreneurship other than just having the right mindset. I believe you have to be in position, or put yourself in a position to maintain the right mindset. To maintain. Can you handle it when someone lies on you or lies to you? Can you handle that? Can you handle it when someone tries to steal your intellectual property and mark it up and call it your own, call it their own?
That's hard.
Can you handle that? Right?
That's hard.
It goes, absolutely.
That's hard.
It goes far and beyond just having the right mindset. I believe that you have to maintain the right mindset. And that's where we come into play, where we say we define entrepreneurship as an intellectual sport. I can tell you that most of half of America right about now has at least one or two persons in that household who have participated in a particular sport, such as baseball, football, basketball, swimming, soccer, track and field, tennis, or golf. One of the things that inspires me, right, about the world of sports is it exposes me to a level of greatness, as it would expose any entrepreneur to a level of greatness. And so with entrepreneurship being what we call an intellectual sport, what we plan to do for this year's conference is bring the principles and concepts of the world of sports and connect it to the idea that entrepreneurship is an intellectual sport, and paint a broad picture so that in return, that broad picture will influence the audience to step into their next, whatever their next is, to step into their next. You see, one of the things that this pandemic has done for me, I will say, right, it has put me in a position to put more focus on my next than anything else.
Yes.
Than anything else. It has to be a next somewhere. And I believe that as leaders, as entrepreneurs, we have to put focus on our next. And check this out, wherever you put your focus at, there is where your energy is going to flow. Wherever you put your focus at. So, because if we had to give a lot of attention to what's going on around us, we could very well become stuck in the middle of a situation that we cannot control. So my focus has to be on my next. It has to be on my next. I can tell you right now, I know people right now who are sitting behind the desk. They're making six-figure income and have been making six-figure income, but they're stuck. And the reason why they're stuck is because they got comfortable with six figures without giving any consideration to what their next should be. Without giving any consideration to what their next should be. So now they're stuck. And whatever all of us have had to do as leaders and entrepreneurs, we've had to pivot in some kind of way or another. We've had to make a change. In some kind of way or another, we've had to make a change. And so considering that we've had to make a change, it has put some people in a position where they had to move outside of their comfort zone. So they're not comfortable with making that pivot to take a look at what their next should be. But in my mind, I feel like even with the experience and some of the success that I've had, I feel like my attention span has to always be on my next, which just simply says that I live in expansion mode. So I'm always looking for the next best thing. I'm always looking for the next best thing.
Well, I know one thing. I'm just telling myself I'm definitely going to be at the UBC conference. I don't know if anybody else is, but I just want to come into this room alone and hear more of this conversation. You put a lot out there. You put a ton out there, and I have a lot of questions for you now. Okay. Just from you going through that, and now I have a lot of questions for you. My first question that I want to ask you, you said something really, to me, it was really sort of profound, important, whatever it is that you want to call it. But you said that your business helps managers become leaders.
That's correct.
Leaders,
and we have a systematic approach to doing so.
Okay. So some people have this feeling that if you're a manager, aren't you a leader? What would you say to that?
Well, there's a difference between night and day. Managers facilitate process. Leaders initiate process. You see.
Write that down.
Oh, absolutely. Managers facilitate process. which means they facilitate information. Leaders initiate process. They initiate it. And here's the thing. All of us are practice that lead to progress. So anytime that there is progress being made anywhere, you know that there had to be a formula. And if there's a formula, there is a process. You see what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, it's either you are a manager that facilitates someone else's information in order to get to a particular person, place, or thing, or you are that person who initiated, which means that I'm the person that makes the decision. I'm the one who makes the decision whether this person stays or goes. I'm the one who makes the decision whether or not this person cashes a check. And I'm the one that makes the decision to continue to facilitate the process of learning. Why? Because I'm a lifetime learner.
Right.
I'm a lifetime learner. Which is the same as saying that I am everything concerning me is a practice that leads to progress. Every single solitary thing. And anything that is practice becomes a habit. And anything that is a habit becomes a practice. So entrepreneurs and leaders have to practice towards what they have to practice, the process of gaining their next or stepping into their next, whatever that next is. And that's what we want to be able to infuse the audience with come June 25th. And that is, what is your next?
What is your next? What is your next?
Because you got to have it.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely have to have a next. The other thing that you said was you mentioned that you have been in establishment for 14 years.
Yeah, for 14 years. For 14 years.
But you used another word. It's almost like you said, it made it seem as though, but even though that you've been around for 14 years, you're not saying I've been here for 14 years, so I know everything about everything. It's almost like you're.
I am saying that.
Okay,
my
tell me more.
Even in the midst of the 14 years, as a good leader, a great entrepreneur would tell you that their teachability index have to be of such where they could even learn from a child. A child can teach you how to sell.
Yes.
Trust me when I believe you. A child can teach you how to sell. I have a 10-year-old grandson, and he can teach you how to sell. Trust me, he can teach you how to sell.
Yes.
We're trying to put him in a position where we get him to recognize that he's more than just a consumer. He's a producer.
Oh, my goodness, please. You know, I just said that to somebody. I said it today. I literally said, and it was because my husband said it to me. I said that I am trying. Let me see. I no longer just want to be a consumer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You are a producer. You are a producer.
I didn't use the word producer, but I like that word, and now I'm going to use it. And
amen.
I'm going to use that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please do.
I love it.
You are a producer. Or put it this way, you and I, and most of every leader and every entrepreneur that there is in the marketplace today, we were told this very thing. Go to school, get a good education, get a good job. Go to school, get a good education, get a good job. Now, I have found right about now that doesn't work anymore. So I'm holding, even though my grandparents are not with me no more, because I grew up in the house with my grandparents, I'm holding them totally responsible for that.
Right.
What they did was they gave me an invitation to be a consumer, but they didn't give me an invitation to be a producer.
Yes.
They gave me an invitation to be an employee, but they didn't give me an invitation to be what we call de-employment, which means entrepreneurship.
Right.
So they gave me all the good information. They gave me some good information, and they gave me some not so good information.
Yes.
In that light, right? But for the most part, as leaders and as entrepreneurs, we have to put focus on being a producer rather than a consumer.
Yes. That statement alone, that really resonates with me. I'm gonna get up in the morning, stretch, and go, I'm a producer, not a consumer.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta claim that.
Claim it. I'm a producer. I might make a t-shirt that says that.
That's exactly right. You got to claim that. And not only that, you have to attach that to this very thing that looks like this and says and sounds like this. My vision is my weapon.
Oh my goodness. You need to stop it. You got to stop this. This is too much for me. This is overload. I'm telling you, I literally am going to be sitting in the room like,
absolutely. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Because that's what we're going to have fun. We're going to infuse good times and happy times in the lives of everybody that's in the room. We're just going to have fun.
That's right. We're going to have fun. Now, the other thing that you said is that you have an accredited consultant.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Okay. Our accredited school, it's an online and offline school. We have an accredited certified life coach course. We have a Christian development course. We have an executive leadership coach course. And we have a relationship coach course and a certified public speaking course with it. We have graduated today close to 45 people. We have a class going on now that has 7 people in the class that I'm most excited about. We meet together once a week for 1 hour every week for 9 weeks. Not only do you get a hard copy certification, you get a digital certification as well.
Okay, nice.
We have each and every person in the class to write up a vision statement as well as a mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for their business as well as for their life. And we have them to transfer that into what we call a legal document.
Okay.
So when it becomes a legal document, what it does is it becomes measurable. And anything that's measurable can be seen.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And so when you step into your home office in the morning, or you step into your office in a corporate marketplace or what have you, you want to have something that reminds you of why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Of why you're there. And in some situations, in some settings, you're not there to get the 6-figure income.
Mm-hmm.
In some situations, some settings, you're there on an assignment. The question is, what is that assignment?
Right.
What is that assignment?
What are you
so
trying to
we have that school. Yep.
Yeah.
What is that? What is your assignment? So we have that school, and that's been in operation right now for more than 10 years.
Okay.
More than 10 years. And I'm most excited about, what we've been able to do in terms of getting accredited. We are accredited by a company called the CPD Standards Office, which is a company that's located in London.
Okay.
So we made it our business through a good friend of mine to make our practices, not just, locally, a local practice, but an international practice as well.
Okay, so this is an international. Anybody can come to this course.
Anybody can come. Anybody can come. And it's all centered around what we call foundational coaching. Foundational coaching lead to what we call strength-based coaching. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So the first stage of the process, we deal with foundation, bringing in awareness to, the platform and the information. The next phase of it, going for 9 straight weeks, we concentrate on strength-based coaching, where we talk about anything from goal setting, goal setting it as it relates to individual goals or personal goals or organizational goals. We talk about leadership transformation. We talk about everything that has anything to do with leadership and the boundaries that come with leadership. Because you have to have some boundaries.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to have some boundaries in that regard.
Yeah.
So we're most excited about, the opportunity.
That sounds really good. Is this something too that now, of course, you have people that are coming to become coaches, but has your program also set it up so that persons that are already coaches can take it and become, I think it's like a train the trainers kind of thing, but a little bit higher than that. A little higher than that.
Indeed, we do. We have it set up where we also have trainers in at least 3 different states right about now that have gone through training process. Yep. And that covers more of a 2 or 3 day to cover all of the training. And then of course they use our resources and tools to be able to connect in all of those things. So we have a very sophisticated way of bringing a systematic approach to the client's learning process or learning curve. Whatever that learning curve is.
And the coaching business is really something that has become even more relevant now. Okay, I think it's always been relevant. Like, a person may say, and anybody can pretty much say, as long as you have the expertise, there are people that will say, well, I'm a coach in that. And let me just say this, it's an expertise with results. Because typically you have to have results, because if you call yourself a coach, but you don't have any results, then people are like, I don't know if you're really a coach.
That's correct.
But because it's not regulated or licensed or anything like that.
That's correct.
However, you mentioned something else. You said you have a foundational curriculum. Okay, I'll use the word curriculum only because I'm in that world.
That's okay.
A foundational curriculum. And I think that piece is really good to have, even if you do consider yourself a seasoned coach. I think getting the foundational aspect of things from from an organization that has put it together is really helpful. And
no question. I'll tell you this. As a financial advisor, one of the things that I used to do, and I used to do it around the clock, is I was doing, and I discovered that all I was doing was selling perspective. So I was sitting in front of people all day, every day, and twice on Sunday for the most part, just simply saying this to them. There's a right way, a wrong way, and a more excellent way of doing everything that you do. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what you're doing, but there is a right way, a wrong way, and a more excellent way. Because I can be right at something and be wrong. I can be wrong and be right. I can be right and be wrong and be wrong and be right again. Right. In that regard, I can be that. Right. Yes. And I'm fully aware of that. So I know I could be that. So what I was able to do, which was good for me, I was able to take all of the things that I learned from the finance industry into the coaching and consulting industry and just teach people that everything, what you're selling to your customer client base, more so than products and services, you are selling perspective to them. You're selling perspective. And what does perspective do? Perspective gives meaning, and meaning gives direction to the overall customer-client relationship, is what it does. Because some of your customer-client relations are sophisticated enough to be able to tell you, regardless of what you're trying to sell to them, they don't need you selling them anything. Right. What they want to know more than anything else is what's in it for me. Yes, exactly. What's in it for me? That's what they want to know more than anything else. I have been in sales for almost 25 years right now. And I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt, I've never been in the midst of a transaction where the customer client base did not want to know what's in it for me. Yes. So much so that I taught a course at Penn State College. Just before the pandemic opened up, interrupted our lives. And I'll use that word interrupted. Just before it interrupted our lives. And one of the, thereafter, I was teaching this class on entrepreneurship. Thereafter, one of the senior students came to me and said, what kind of advice do you have for me that would help me along my journey? I said, here's what I want you to do. Before you even become an entrepreneur, I want you to go get yourself a sales job, paying 100% commission. You know what that means, don't you? If you don't sell, you don't eat. You don't eat, right. Go get yourself a sales job paying 100% commission. And in most cases, what corporate America will do, they will give you what we call a draw. A draw. Now, that draw, by the time Uncle Sam hit it, guess what? You might only have enough to pay the gas, electric bill, and put some gas in your car. That's how that works. So in other words, what they're saying to you is don't get comfortable. Right. Okay. Right. I could afford to tell him that because I've been through that. I know what that looks like and know what it is. And if you can handle that kind of pressure right there, oh, you're the one for the job. If you can handle that kind of pressure. If you can handle not knowing how you're going to pay your mortgage, pay your car note, pay your insurance. If you don't know how you're going to eat from time to time, if you can't go to the movies and all those things that you once could do, guess what? If you could handle working at least 6 months on 100% commission money, guess what? You're the one for the job. Because what that will do in the long run for you, it will put you in a position where you are the top salesperson in your company, which means that when people come to you as it relates to sales, guess what? You got an answer for them. You got an answer. Because if you're the president of your company, you should be at the top of your game. You should be bringing your A game to the establishment, to the organization, each and every day of the week, 365 days of the year. You should be bringing that. Because if you're the president, you can't just sit back and say, I'm the president just because you got the title to be the president. Because everybody knows the obvious. Yes, everybody knows that. Yeah, as my sister would say, you don't have to discuss the obvious with me. I already know that you're an African-American person. Right.
Exactly.
I already know that. So you ain't got to ditto that concerning me, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I told him to do that because if I knew that if he could do that, then he would win on all ends. He would win on all ends.
I agree. And you know what? I totally agree with that. It reminds me a little bit similar to I always get involved in some sort of multi-level marketing. And some
Yes.
people are like, well, oh, multi-level marketing, boo. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, but I want you to try to do it, okay?
Yeah. How about that?
Try to do some multi-level marketing when that's all you have, and you're on phone calls and people are ching-chinging left and right, and you're trying to figure out how you're just going to get one person to listen to you on a phone call, or try to do it, and the majority of their conversations are, because they tell you in multi-level marketing, and one thing that I learned from doing it is go for no. Go for no. You have to keep your drive. You have to keep your drive. You have to keep going for it. It doesn't matter. Just keep going for it, because eventually it breaks. And it's
That's
fun.
exactly right.
I never used to believe that, but I got into or let me put it this way. It's not that I didn't believe it, but I wasn't able to do it, because automatically you get an embarrassment of shyness, and then you ask them, all these crazy things, and then you see people moving faster than you.
Yep.
And the last business that I got into, I decided, and this is another thing that I'm sure you can relate to, I decided to listen to the playbook.
Oh, absolutely.
I decided to listen to the playbook and how they said, the people that were bringing in the money to do it. And it's sort of similar like this conference. We have people coming to the conference who have the experience. They have everything behind them. A, you just got to show up. And B, when you come into the room, you got to be willing to listen and take copious notes. And if you can do those things, you'll be able and apply it later on. Most likely, you'll definitely get something out of it. But you'll be able to really take the visions that you have and move them forward. I learned that with the MLM that I was recently in, and I was able to build a team. And I got the right team person, and this person helped build a team in Africa. That was amazing to me.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And anytime you have something that you can feel good about, it's going to help you along the way in your entrepreneurial journey and your leadership journey.
Yes.
It's going to help you along the way. Even if it's, you have to reflect back to it 10 years from now. It's going to help you some kind of way. Because again, wherever you put your focus at, there's where your energy is going to flow. There's where your energy is going to flow. And so we have, in order to step into our next, whatever that next is, we have to have not just a mindset, we have to have a sustainable mindset, because in that sustainable mindset, there comes results, and people pay us big to solve problems.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So you know what, Leroy, I know that we could talk about this subject for a long time, and I totally enjoyed our conversation, and I am so looking forward to the event. I'm looking forward to you being there, for you to share your golden nuggets with the audience. And anybody that comes, please definitely get your tickets. It's written right out here for your bit.ly. What is it? bit.ly/bankrupt proof your biz.
Yep.
That's a lot of words. Okay. But anyway, you can read. So please come, get the opportunity to see Leroy. Do you have any ending comments you want to make? Danya also, too, please make an ending comment as well, because we sort of just took over. But Leroy, do you have anything you want to say? Not yet, Danya. Leroy got to talk.
Okay.
Danya, hold on. I knew Danya had something to say.
Well, I would just go about the business of encouraging those who have registered and those who are coming to register. I would just go about the business of just saying, show up and show out. Show up and show out. Because when you show up and show out, you're not just going to be able to eat at the table with those that are in the room. You're going to be able to eat at the table with those that are on the next level as well. Because there are some speakers that are coming that I'm extremely excited about hearing. that I know of that have information.
Yeah.
There are some speakers that are going to be there. And so, I would say, to all those under the sound of our voice, do not hesitate. Do not hesitate about, becoming registered. Go on, as they say, and register so that we can get the job done. So that we can get it done, and we can get it done in such a way where it's not going to just be one for the making of this year. It'll be two for the making of years to come.
Yes.
Of years to come. Because this is, if I'm correct, this is the second year, right?
This is the second year virtually, but the third year. But I will say, just in keeping it real, of course, in the first year, it's baby steps, and I still even think now we're at the beginning stages, but the energy that has been put into this and the speakers that are coming is up here in comparison to the fact that we're still building ourselves. So it's really
great. Not a bad place to be. It's not a bad place to be, because at the end of the day, if you have some traction that you can reflect off of for the next year to come, then it's always going to be about your next. And it's going to be easy for you to sit back and say, I can make this adjustment, I can make that adjustment, but at the same time, I'm going in the direction that I want to go in. So it's all about that next.
That's so encouraging. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I feel great. And thank you for being here. Absolutely. It was an
Thanks for having me. I appreciate y'all a whole lot. And I'm looking forward to it once again.
Yes. Let me let Danya give you some closing comments because she's on the edge of her chair.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm fine. I was taking notes. Somebody wanted to ask a question, and I told her to go ahead and ask a question. Rolanda Phillips wanted to ask a question, and I told her yes, she could ask a question, but I don't know what happened.
Okay.
But I just want to thank you, Mr. Allen, again for being on, because you was on with me and we've been connecting and doing things. And I just appreciate you. And I'm going to be taking notes when you are on. I'm not going to be the commentator. We're going to have to hire somebody.
I'm
going to have to find somebody because we got some wonderful speakers. We have
indeed.
Dr. Joan Henry Fields was on. And she's going to be talking about finances. Leroy McKenzie was on, and he's amazing. Leroy Allen was on, and he's amazing. And Deltrease is coming on next. And she's going to be talking about, the tax consequences of being in business. So you have to get your ticket. So I made it easy, bit.ly/Bankrupt Proof Biz, bit.ly/Bankrupt Proof Biz. Because some people were like, oh, the other one's too long. So I just made it short and it's numbers. So I did what I had to do. And like Alina said, we're in the building stage. And I really feel like this is our coming out party to me for UBC. This year is our coming out party because quarantine helped us. That's how I feel. Quarantine was the best thing for us. And I hate to say that because some people get upset. But I think it was the best thing for us, and I see the growth, and I just see we're more professional, we're more alert, and like she said, our energy level is higher.
That's exactly right.
You got to come into this house because we work very hard to get these speakers, and they are giving you valuable time for the early bird special price of $67. You are getting worth at least $2,000 worth of information, because for the people we have, normally you will have to pay at least $2,000. And $67 is not bad for what you're getting.
I was going to say that's usually $2,000 for one person. Because we have some speakers that's typical. I'm sure you're on that category that when somebody takes your courses and all that kind of stuff, it's definitely not $67. So
no, it's not. It's not.
Yes,
we have payment plans, but it's not $67.
Believe me, I know. So you're getting a lot, and these people are giving you that valuable time that they would normally give to their high-end clients. So I'm just letting you know that this price is good, and you need to be there. And Mr. Allen, thank you again, and I look forward to you being on the 25th and 26th. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate y'all. Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to make it happen. That's for sure.
We are.
We're going to make it happen. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me once again. I appreciate y'all a lot.
All right.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're going to wait for our next guest, Deltrease, to come on, and we are just excited. And like I said, you have to get your tickets. You really, really have to get your tickets, because me and Alina, we're putting a lot of time, money, and effort into this, and you must get your tickets to be in the house. You got to be in the house, and you got to be there.
So one of the things that I noticed, Danya, is that in the lineup you have Leroy Allen, who actually has a coaching and consulting accredited academy or school. So he does that. But then we also have, so he's training people to become coaches and become consultants for the betterment of their business, which is an awesome thing to have to be involved in. It's really good. I truly do believe, and I've been through some programs, that it's really good to have a structured program that you go through, even though anybody can be a coach. But we also have Cheryl Thacker, who on the other end is the one that actually works directly with those who have become coaches. So those are two people that just work so simultaneously well together for those that are looking to be in the coaching and consulting business, because a lot of people want to get involved in coaching and consulting, but they have the same dilemma that a lot of people have. It's, how do I get into this? How do I do it? So we have those two people that are going to be there, that are going to be able to really help with that process and give some good, viable information. So I just wanted to put that out there, because for all of those that are, looking to get into the field of coaching and consulting, this is definitely something that you want to be in the room to hear about.
And I just want everybody, I'm going to be transparent. Deltrease is having trouble getting in, so I'm going to try to send her the link again.
Okay.
To see if I can get her in. And I wanted to say something about Cheryl Thacker. She did an amazing job. I took one of her trainings and yesterday, and it was about active listening.
I saw that.
And it was really interesting how she said, and in a way Leroy was harping on that, where you have to really communicate with your client in everything you do. I'm gonna try to send Deltrease a message. Tell her I sent her the link again. And we apologize about this. And what I was saying is, I realized that that's why I did the mid-biz chat again, because I wanted people to know why they should attend the event. What could they get out of the event? And I felt that we weren't really explaining to them what the event will be about. I explained to them what they'll get for the $67. I'm sorry, but Deltrease is having trouble. So we're trying to send it to her. I'm gonna try to send it again. But just bear with us, everybody. I may have to send it to her other email address. I'm gonna send it to Deltrease too. Sorry about this. Sometimes things happen. Because I really want her to be on, because she is our tax professional, and she will be talking about everything you need to know about the PPP loans and stuff like that. So you really want to stay around. Just give us a few minutes. And like Cheryl Thacker was saying, she was talking about how you need to be active when you're listening, how you need to be engaging. She said, like, for example, she gave a good point of keep your feet pointed towards your client. Because if you have your feet going this way, your client can notice that. She was saying that, make sure you have good eye contact with your clients, make sure you're listening to them. And then she said to ask reflection questions, to get a clarification as to what are your clients' wants and needs. And I really learned a lot from that. And I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to take her course. And because I think it's good for me to learn how to be attentive and learn how to be, listen to the customers. Because I think for a long time I was not listening. I was assuming what I thought that the customers needed. And so that's what I wanted to say with Cheryl Thacker. And now we have the IRS enrollee agent, Deltrease Hart-Anderson on. She is going to be the tax professional there. She is going to give you valuable information about tax ramifications in being in business, how to make sure you are okay, and how to keep, and this is her motto, how to keep the IRS out of your pocketbook. So Deltrease, the floor is yours. Why don't you introduce yourself, Deltrease? Tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about your business and tell us a little bit about who do you serve.
Hey, I just want to say, first of all, I apologize. I was struggling and panicking. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I can't get on. So I do apologize that I didn't think initially. But thank you so much. Good afternoon, good evening. Well, good afternoon, probably West Coast. Good evening to those on the East Coast. I am Deltrease Hart-Anderson of D Hart Accounting, and like Ms. Danya said, I keep the IRS out of the pocketbooks, wallets, and bank accounts of taxpayers. I am a licensed IRS enrolled agent, and what that means for people, if you're in tax trouble, I represent taxpayers. So whether it's individuals or businesses, I represent taxpayers when they are in federal and state tax trouble. So can't afford to pay, haven't filed in a long time, I represent you so you don't have to stress. Know that the IRS, they are big bad wolves, but they can be tamed. So that's pretty much it. I love helping individuals and small businesses. So small business is my passion, obviously, because I'm an entrepreneur myself. So I love the real estate crowd because I'm a real estate investor. I love just small business because I'm a small business myself. So yeah, that's pretty much it about who I am and who I serve. And Miss Danya, I think you had one other thing.
I forgot what I asked you, but I have one question that a lot of people wanted to know about is the PP loans, the EIDL loans, and the revitalization loans that the federal government gave money to the local governments for restaurants and stuff. And they wanted, one person said, make sure you ask her how to fill out the loan, and should I be wary of anybody who tells me that they can help me fill out the loan and be guaranteed the money and they make a promise that I will get the loan? Because there's a lot of people out there, I'm going to say scrupulous people, who are literally telling people, I can help you get money through the PPP. And I keep telling people, talk to your tax professional representative, talk to a banker, talk to an attorney. Can you please explain to people why it's important to talk to a tax professional like an accountant, enrollee agent yourself, your banker, and your attorney before applying for those PP loans?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, and I'll start with the PPP loan because that's going to be an easy conversation. All that money, that's gone. The PPP loan, it was supposed to, the deadline was supposed to be the end of this month, but the funds have run out. So unless Uncle Joe, that's who I call President Biden, Uncle Joe, unless Uncle Joe does something different and expands that fund, all the money is gone. So you don't have to worry about that money. The idle money, the EIDL, and by the way, the PPP loan, for those of you that were in receipt of it, that was a quote unquote forgivable loan. So if you met the criteria, you just submit some paperwork and you didn't have to pay that money back. Okay. Now, the EIDL or the EIDL, that is a true loan. Funds are still available. As a matter of fact, there are so much funds available that the SBA is emailing people that have already applied and said, hey, we know we gave you 50% of your income prior to, would you like to borrow more money? So there are some people that are going back and getting even more money, but keep in mind that money is a loan. Same thing with the revitalization money. That money is specifically set aside for restaurants, bars, and other qualifying businesses that were impacted by COVID. So it ain't for everybody. So the thing I would tell people that are asking, can people help you? If they say that they can help you get a PPP loan right now, run, because there's no PPP money to get. Now, if they tell you that you can get the restaurant revitalization money, and if you are not a bar or a restaurant or another qualified business that was impacted by COVID, then run, because you're not supposed to have it. And you don't want to end up in a situation like so many others right now. A lot of people have gotten that money and they weren't supposed to get it, or they haven't been using it the way that they're supposed to use it. So now they're being picked up and they're being taken to jail. Now, if there is, if you do qualify for the EIDL or the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, then yes, there are credible companies out there that can assist you with applying for this money. But I'll tell you, a lot of times, especially with the EIDL fund, you may be able to just apply for it yourself. The biggest problem that I see people are having is they still don't have their books in order. They don't have their profit and loss statement. They don't have their balance sheet. And because they don't have these things, no matter who you get to help you fill out the application, they still can't fill it out legitimately because you don't have your number. So that's a big thing. So make sure that whomever you go to for assistance, either they can help you with completing your financial statements, or you have to put them on hold until you can get someone to assist you with completing your financial statements. That could be a bookkeeper, that could be an accountant. Sometimes the SBA has local SBDCs, the Small Business Development Centers in your area. They may be able to do so. I know there's one that's not in my county, but in a neighboring county, and they actually they pay me to assist their small business owners in filling out their financial statements. So you may not be able to afford it through your business, but there are places that will get you to a good accountant to complete that paperwork for you. And you definitely don't want to put anything contrary on those financial statements versus what you put on your tax return. So if you're saying that, with the EIDL, if you tell them that you're making $200,000 and they give you $400,000 of a loan, you better make sure that when you file your tax return, you reported $200,000 in gross income, because the SBA and the IRS, guess what? They all intertwine, and they can look at your tax records anytime they want.
And really Deltrease, yeah. And Deltrease, you are right. Yep, because there are a lot of people that the U.S. Attorney's Office has been in contact with, because they've gotten these PPP loans and they did not use it for payroll. They used it for buying cars, buying houses, paying off personal debt, and it was not made for that. And then they didn't even have a legitimate business. And that's why I try to tell people that, like you said, the FBA, SBA agencies in your area, they will help you. Talk to a tax professional. They will help you. If you have an accountant that does your books, does your taxes, talk to them, because the federal government is working with banks, they're working with tax professionals to make sure that people can get this money, because the US wants us to come back up financially. So when the US government is giving you all of these resources, don't just go to anybody who's going to charge you an arm and a leg to help you get a loan. Whereas you can go to, if you already have a tax accountant who's working for you, let them do the job for you, or go to SBA, like you said, and stop going to people who really don't know what they're talking about. And that's disturbing to me, especially in the business consulting. We're professionals and we help small businesses. And you always have a few people that make it difficult for individuals like us. And they need to we need to teach people that, like, going to events like this, going to conferences like the Ultimate Biz Conference, you will be in contact with business experts who can help you with your business, and you want to be in that house. Stop going to people who just say, oh, I can just help you with this. And then they don't, like Alina said earlier, they don't have the credentials to back it up. They don't have the credibility to back it up. It all has to do with integrity and credibility. And there's a lot of people out there, and it hurts me to see people being taken advantage of. It really does.
I think one of the things that was helpful that you said is the important piece of just following what it is, the guidelines, basically. Following the guidelines for any of the loans that a person may be going for. Because I do know that with the PPP, that yes, it was for small businesses, but you also had people that were sole proprietors and may have been doing different types of odd jobs, you call them. I call them gig jobs. So the Uber drivers, the Lyft drivers, those types of that, it was actually okay for them to actually go for those loans. So it's more a case of you needing to know which criteria that you fit into. At least this is my understanding. And please, you're nodding yes, so I feel good. As soon as I say something wrong, just check mark me. I'm okay. I'm not sensitive. But my understanding is that, as long as you're following what the guidelines are, then you're pretty much going to be, like you said, okay. I do like the idea that you said, the piece that you said, and you made it very clear that money's tapped. And I think there are some people that may still believe that the money is still floating out there, potentially, but it's not. It's tapped. And that's been made very clear. And so that's when I think it's really important not to kind of, try to get help from people that just say they can help. Because, people put out stuff constantly. I mean, social media is crazy. I mean, not even just social media. Now it's AI. So it's like texting. Like, I mean, I don't know. Do you get like 1,000 texts all the time? Like people asking you stuff? You're like, are you kidding me? I'm like, scam alert. My point is that everybody's out there saying something, and you just have to really know who it is you're talking to. That was very helpful, Deltrease.
Thank you, and absolutely, and that's another thing. Like you said, you just have to know what bucket you qualify for. So the just regular, common small business owners like the three of us, there is no more PPP money left.
Right.
But there's a small pot of money that the minority lenders, the smaller banks, the local banks that are lending to minorities, they have a little more leeway, but not a whole lot, to lend to people in different economic deficient zones, if you will. So, but it's still not a lot of money, and eventually that money is going to run out. But for the common small business owners, the three of us, we can forget it. That money is gone.
Yeah. I think that's so helpful, just to let people know that if they don't get anything else out of tonight's interview, which I know they will, at least they know, don't apply for that. It's gone.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't pay.
That's what I put. I said it's maxed out.
It's maxed out.
Yes.
Exactly. PP is PP loan money is maxed out. I put it out
maxed
there.
out. Yes, definitely.
So
I'm
they'll
really
know.
excited. I'm really excited, Deltrease, that you're going to be at the UBC event. You were at it. You've stuck with us, which is good, and that feels really great. Because I also know that your business, your expertise, all of that. You're one of those people that, it costs money to talk to Deltrease. So Deltrease is sharing herself with us. Come on, people, get the ticket. Trust me, it costs money to talk to Deltrease. I know, I sent her a text. She said, and send me this. I was like, huh? That's my joke for you today, Deltrease.
I love Miss Danya. That's why I'm here.
So
sweet,
just know,
yes. Yes, so Miss Danya has me here, but absolutely. And here's the thing, I think it's very important, and I'm sure you guys are going to touch on this, whether it's at the conference or someone else will touch on it. You always want to, like, I like to pay for my services. Because when I pay for services, that makes me know that it gives me a certain level of comfort that I am paying for something, so I'm going to get good value. You know how people say garbage in, garbage out. So when I pay for something, that makes me know that I'm going to get someone's best, or at least I should. There's an expectation there. But when you're always getting something for free, it just doesn't hold the same value, because now you're like, well, I might need to check with another person, or you might be, you might feel that you've held one person too long. Well, I know they gave me a 15-minute consultation, but I need more time. And what do I do? So you're always left in a not so. I feel I'm always left in a predicament where I would want more. I had a free consultation. As a matter of fact, this gentleman offered his services today. Free consultation, real estate guide, valuable information. And I said to him at the end, I said, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? You've given me valuable information. And he didn't hesitate. Got a tax question. And we started, and I was more than happy to pour into him as he poured into me. Yeah. But especially when there are times when, things may be one-sided, you may not always need the services of another person or the expertise of another person. I like to pay for my services.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that too. And I've just in my own experience, I found that when I do pay for my services, it helps ground me and helps me take it more seriously. And you're so right. If you see free consultations everywhere around you, and you just stop picking people randomly and just going crazy, or you may sign up. I don't know if anybody's ever did this, but I'm sure you have. You sign up for things that come your way and don't show up. Why? Because at the end it said free. So you're like, oh, whatever. You just take it with a grain of salt. But when you actually put something down on it, small or big, it doesn't matter, 15 to 1,500. Okay. It doesn't matter. You still say to yourself, I have to show up for that because I actually, this is important to me, So, I mean, I totally agree with that. And I'm just really looking forward to you being there and giving the knowledge that you have to the group of people that are going to attend. We're putting that in the air, that are going to attend the UBC conference. Danya has it right down here to get your ticket. At Bitly, it's Bankrupt Proof. Bankrupt Proof is the contact for the ticket. Please, the ticket is $67. And like we said last time, we have people in the room that honestly, just the first call and consultation call is $67. So, and that's for, I think, 10 to 15 minutes. You about to get way more than that. So I would be there or be square.
Exactly. And I want to say this, that one thing I've learned the past year or so is the more money you invest in your business, the more you get on your return on your investment. Because the more money you invest, the more you see your growth. Like I see growth in UBC compared to us in 2019 to now. In the 2 years, especially last year, we invested so much time, so much money, and we see the growth in it. And I think that this is a good investment because I've seen events similar to ours, and the cheapest ticket you can get is $1,500 for these people for time. And the business experts, and I don't just call them coaches or IRS, I call these experts. They are at the top of their game, and their time is valuable, and they charge for their time, and they have that right to. And I believe you should charge for your worth, know your worth. And we're giving you these individuals for a fraction of what they charge. That $67 doesn't even give you a minute of their time. So you need to get your ticket, and you need to be in the house. And like Alina said, for the people who are attending, we thank you for getting your ticket. And we know that the money that you invest with the UBC team, you will get the return on your investment will be great, because Deltrease, she knows her stuff. And when I talk about enrollee agent, I call them the attorneys who defend you against the IRS. That's how I see them. I see them as the tax attorneys. They're not really attorneys, but they will defend you against the IRS. And when you got to deal with the IRS, but trust and believe, I've been there when I had my law practice. And the fact that I had my tax accountant and I came in there, that's when we had to fly, the little CD disc. I came in there with my CD disc and my portfolio. He said, "You're the first person in a long time that did not come in here with a shoebox full of receipts." And my tax accountant was right there, and he said, "I like you because you have your representative." And him and the accountant were talking because they were friends, because they knew each other. So I just sat back, I gave, and he said, "Okay, Ms. Zimmerman, it was just an extra, your accountant's, assistant made a mistake and put an extra zero here. That's all it was." But knowing that I went in there with somebody, and that's why I tell people, when you're dealing with the IRS, get with a tax professional. That money that you spend on that vacation, that money you spend on that Gucci bag, invest in a tax professional, because if something happens, they are there for you. And you won't have to deal with the IRS on your own and get nervous. And Deltrease, she is very good at what she does. She is I call her a tax guru. That's all I'm going to say. And you got to get your ticket. And me and Alina, we appreciate anyone who has bought their ticket and who will be attending. And just go to Bentley/Bankrupt-Proof-Biz and get your ticket today. And Deltrease, I want to thank you so much. Is there any parting wisdom you want to give to our listeners?
My pleasure to be here. Just for everybody that's listening, make sure and get those tax returns filed on the 17th. 17th. And if you can't get them filed, no big deal, file an extension. And if you can't pay, no big deal, go ahead and work it out. Get on a plan where you can pay, or if you can't afford to pay, get on the can't afford to pay plan as well. But do something, be proactive, and communicate with the IRS. That's all I have for you today.
That was great.
All right. And thank you so much, Deltrease, for being on. And you take care, and we'll see you on June the 25th and 26th.
All right. Yes. Take care, guys.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, everybody. As you heard, make sure you get your tickets at Bentley Bankrupt-Proof-Biz. And we have been showcasing all of these speakers for you. So it should be no excuse. And I thank everyone who will be attending, who have purchased a ticket, and who are going to purchase a ticket. Do you have any parting words, Alina?
Nope. The only thing, well, I do actually have a parting word. Get your ticket. Be there. Trust me. You're gonna absolutely be just totally just ecstatic at the fact that you put this into your business. It is going to be a great asset. That's Bankrupt-Proof-Biz. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Good night.
Okay.